You ever looked at yourself in the mirror and realized you've changed? Not in a good way, but in that quiet, painful way where you've slowly stopped being you. You don't talk the same, you don't move the same, you don't even think the same. Because somewhere along the line, you started living for her approval. You stopped being the man she fell for and started becoming the man she tolerates. This isn't about being too nice or too giving. It's about losing your center, that masculine stillness that used to make her feel your presence without you saying a word. And the truth is, when a woman senses that you've lost that edge, that calm, that energy that made her feel safe around you, she begins to pull away, quietly, emotionally, bit by bit. So let's talk about the subtle ways you lose a woman's respect without even realizing it, and how to take your power back before it's too late. First thing, you start explaining yourself too much. When a man starts over-explaining, it's because he's afraid of being misunderstood. You're not trying to clarify things, you're trying to convince her not to leave. You explain every text, every delay, every plan that doesn't include her, thinking it will make her feel secure. But here's the irony. Over-explaining kills attraction, because a man who's sure of himself doesn't justify his existence. He says what he means, and that's it. Women don't want a man who needs to explain his worth. They want a man whose presence makes it obvious. Next time you catch yourself writing long paragraphs defending why you didn't reply fast enough, stop. Say less. Confidence isn't in your words, it's in your tone, your calm, and your lack of urgency. Second thing, you make her emotions your responsibility. This is where most men fall. You start believing it's your job to fix her moods. She's upset, you drop everything. She's cold, you chase warmth. She's silent, you start overthinking. But here's the thing, emotional storms are hers to regulate, not yours. When you try to solve them all, you become predictable. You become safe, but not attractive. Masculine energy isn't about controlling her emotions, it's about not being controlled by them. Be that calm ocean when she's the wave. Let her feel your steadiness instead of your panic. Because when you start reacting to every shift in her energy, she starts testing just to see if you'll break again. Third thing, you trade respect for attention. When she starts pulling away, you start performing. You post more, you text faster, you compliment harder, and the whole time you think you're showing effort, but you're actually showing weakness. Attention isn't what she wants presence, and presence can't exist when your self-worth depends on her reaction. Sometimes the most attractive move you can make is no move at all. Let silence do the talking. Let your absence echo louder than your words ever could, because if she truly values you, that silence will shake her more than any text ever will. Fourth thing, you stop being unpredictable. At the start, she couldn't figure you out. You had mystery, you had focus, you had a life outside her. But once you started caring too much, you became routine, predictable. Every text was answered instantly. Every plan was hers, and that's when the spark died. See, attraction thrives on uncertainty, not games, but genuine depth. She has to wonder what's going on in your world when she's not in it. That curiosity, that's what keeps her invested. So don't be afraid to be quiet sometimes. Don't be afraid to have your own life, your own silence, your own space, because when a man becomes too available, he stops being magnetic. Fifth thing, you confuse kindness with submission. There's a difference between being kind and being compliant. Kindness comes from confidence. Submission comes from fear. When you start saying yes to everything, not because you want to, but because you're scared to disappoint her, she feels it. Every time you bend your boundaries, you teach her she can bend you. And that's the moment attraction dies. Women respect men who can say no calmly, not out of anger, but out of self-respect. Because no is not rejection, it's clarity. And clarity is what makes a man powerful. Sixth thing, you stop demanding respect in small ways. Respect doesn't just disappear in big moments, it erodes in small ones. When she talks over you and you stay silent, when she cancels plans last minute and you still show up next time, when she mocks your goals and you laugh it off just to avoid conflict. Those moments seem small, but they build a pattern. One that tells her you're okay being treated as less. And once that pattern is formed, she'll never look at you the same. You don't need to argue or explode. Just quietly withdraw your energy. When a man pulls back with dignity, it creates more impact than any emotional outburst ever could. That silence tells her everything. I won't fight for a place I'm not respected in. Seventh thing, you forget your own mission. This one's the killer. You start centering your life around her, her schedule, her validation, her attention, and forget the reason she fell for you in the first place. It wasn't your attention that drew her in. It was your direction. The fire you had when you were building something, chasing something, becoming someone. When a man forgets his mission, he becomes emotionally homeless. He starts living through her instead of through purpose. But here's the truth. A woman's love can't replace a man's vision. She can walk beside it, support it, even be inspired by it, but she can't be it. So if you feel lost, don't look for her. Look for your purpose again. That's where your power lives. Eighth thing, you keep proving instead of improving. You try to prove you're a good guy. You prove you care. You prove you're worth keeping. But every time you try to prove, you're secretly saying, I don't believe I am. And she feels that. You don't need to prove anything. You need to become something. A man who's constantly explaining his value loses it, but a man who's too focused on his growth to explain himself commands it. Stop showing her what she's losing. Start becoming what she can't replace. Listen, if you've seen yourself in any of this, don't feel ashamed. Every strong man's been there. The truth is, you don't lose respect all at once. You lose it piece by piece in the quiet moments when you start needing her more than you need your own peace. But the beauty is, you can rebuild it by becoming grounded again, by speaking less, observing more, by learning that silence, self-control, and purpose are louder than any form of begging. You don't have to chase love. You just have to stop running away from your own strength, because when a man remembers who he is, the world, and every woman in it starts to feel his presence again.